honey bunny.
Everybody be cool, this is a robbery!
Any of you fucking pricks move! And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!
How'd you do, I see you've met my faithful handyman. He's just a little brought down because when you knocked, he thought you were the candy man. Don't get strung up by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. Let me show you a rhyme and maybe play you a sign. You look like you're both pretty groovy. Or if you want something visual that's not too abysmal, we could take in an old Steve Reeves movie. Well, you got caught with a flat world. How about that? Well, babies, don't you panic. By the light of the night, it'll all seem alright. I'll get you a satanic mechanic. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. Why don't you stay for the night? Or maybe a bite. I could show you my favorite obsession. I've been making a man with blonde hair and a tan, and he's good for relieving my tension. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you?
Greta Thunberg has been lying to the world, and I'll show you how. Greta Thunberg told the world about a year and a half ago that she was striking from school, when in fact, that was not the case. Her school strikes are actually sanctioned by her own school. Her school allows her to leave to go to the Swedish parliament and sit on the road and hold a sign. The stipulation is that she has her textbooks with her. I went to Stockholm, Sweden, and I asked her a whole host of questions, specifically about this, but also about the investment specialist and public relations expert who found Greta. Ingmar Renshag ran into Greta and then went back to his office to post a perfectly manicured Facebook post that would eventually go viral around the world. Now, Ingmar, who was going to work allegedly from dropping his son off at school, well, he would have had to walk over 2 miles out of his way to coincidentally find Greta sitting on the road outside of the Swedish parliament that day on the first day of his school strike. Oh, and it's just a little icing on the cake that Ingmar Renshag just happens to be personally trained by Al Gore. I went to Stockholm, Sweden to ask these questions of Greta at one of her trademark school strikes. Here's how that interaction went down. Greta, would you be able to tell me what school are you actually striking from? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Show me your press card.
I'm taking a sabbatical year from school.
Yes. So when you actually started your school strike, were you leaving the classroom or did you have a day off from your school that you were at? You know the school that you go to, you have multiple days off a week. You don't actually have to go to class 9 to 5. Did you walk valiantly from the classroom like you've led the world to believe? Or did you just have days off on Friday?
Nice to meet you again. I remember you from Edmonton.
Yes. I remember your Tesla. It was full of plastic.
Oh, it was not my Tesla. I shared it with many others.
Now I asked Greta a few questions, and it didn't take long for undercover security to start intervening.
Just messing around.
No, I'm trying to ask her questions.
Yeah, I know.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Oh,
this is a
I
free
can touch
country.
it.
No, this is a free country.
Yeah, but you're behaving.
I'm behaving fine.
Yeah,
I'm behaving fine.
Yeah, I know.
Who are you? Who's paying you?
Who's paying me?
Yes.
Why do you wonder? Do you have a press ID?
Yes.
Yeah, show me that.
Who are you?
Who are
Show me
you?
your ID. Who told you could be a rent-a-cop?
Fuck.
So I got my first few questions off to Greta, and then right when it got hard, well, security stepped in. But they didn't need to do that in Stockholm because Greta already had elite undercover security surrounding her and the block that she was protesting on. She actually had 8, that's what I counted, undercover security guards. There could have been more. That actually eclipsed the total amount of protesters that were protesting with Greta. She had more security than she did actual people at this protest of international significance.
Today, up to 75% of all emerging diseases come from animals. And as we are cutting down forests and destroying habitats, we are creating the ideal conditions for diseases to spill over from one animal to another and then to us. And we can no longer separate the health crisis from the ecological crisis, and we cannot separate the ecological crisis from the climate crisis. It's all interlinked in many ways. And during this pandemic, we have seen what we can achieve when we put resources into science. Vaccines were developed in record time. But so far, on average, 1 in 4 people in high-income countries have received a coronavirus vaccine, compared with just 1 in over 500 in low and middle-income countries. And the international community, governments and vaccine developers must step up their game and address the tragedy that is vaccine inequity.
If he rang you up and said, Greta, what should I do? What I can wave a presidential magic wand, executive order. What should I do that I'm not? What would you say to him?
Well, nothing, because that's not democratic. An elected leader cannot do anything without support from voters, and I would not want anyone to do anything that would not have the support, because that would be undemocratic, and democracy is the most precious thing that we have, and we must not risk that. So I would just tell him to tell the situation as it is. Since the climate crisis doesn't exist, how can we expect people to want climate action?
That's a fair point.
Since the climate crisis doesn't exist, since the climate crisis doesn't exist, since the climate crisis doesn't exist.
Up your arse. You can shove your climate crisis up your arse. You can shove your climate crisis. You can shove your climate crisis. You can shove your climate crisis up your arse. Up your arse. You can shove your climate crisis up your arse. You can shove your climate crisis. You can shove your climate crisis. You can shove your climate crisis up your arse.